heroes. So I'm very proud that we're making a difference. Next slide, please. And so, the book. The book. You may be asking the question, why did he write a book? What made him write a book on the topic, the empowering parent? And if it were, I'd like to explain the reasons why. Having worked in education now for 11 years, I've noticed a common theme that's been emerging over time. I've seen children who are high flyers. I've seen children who did okay. I've seen children who are struggling emotionally. I've seen children who are very focused. I began to notice a theme emerging time and time. Next slide. And so I want to give you an analogy, if I will, a tea bag. You saw, right, a tea bag. Maybe thinking, why is they would put a tea bag on the screen? What is so significant about a tea bag? Let me explain. A tea bag contains tea. The water absorbs what's in the bag. What you put in the bag determines what goes in the water by infusion. Now, most of us are very visual, which means we like to see before we understand, hence why I speak to you in a metaphor. And so, as parents or practitioners, we got a duty of care to put the right things in the bag, to put the right things in the environment. Because children will absorb what's in their environment. Children will absorb what they hear. Children will absorb what they see. Children will absorb what they feel. And so the key thing here to understand is we have to guard our children's minds with all diligence. Because if we don't do so, we see issues emerging over time. Does that make sense? Next slide, please. And so the common theme that I have found over the years is based on two standards. Now, my definition of environment is the standards required for transformation. Now, parents and practitioners who work with children, we have a duty of care to show that we transform our children, that our children can self-actualize, which means our children can progress to be vibrant emotionally, to be vibrant intellectually, to be vibrant holistically. And that's all traced back to the environment. And so the two key things here is connection and cultivation. Let me explain. In order to raise children who are happy and confident, we've got to connect with them emotionally. The analogy I'll give to you is Wi-Fi. You can't see Wi-Fi, we can feel the effect. You turn off Wi-Fi, devices will not work. You turn off connection from your child will malfunction. Because they're designed to receive love, give love. Sorry. We cannot cultivate our children unless we first connect with them. To cultivate means to draw out their potential. That every single child, irrespective of how they learn, has potential for greatness. But our responsibility is to ensure that we can unlock their potential. But we can only unlock unless we first connect with them. And so the key thing here to understand is there are different models for which we can parent our child. And give the three key types right now. We have the disempowering parent who focuses so much on cultivation that they don't connect to their child. So it's an imbalanced seesaw. The danger there is that those children grow up feeling a sense of void. Another type of parent is called a free-for-all parent, where they believe in majoring on connecting, showing children so much love, that they don't cultivate, they don't draw out their potential, they have got no boundaries in place. But the last one, spend more time talking about, is the empowering parent or the empowering practitioner who understands to cultivate your child or to cultivate the children in their care, you've got to first connect. You've got to first relate to your children. I give you an analogy. Kindness is not always linked to a principle which I refer to in the book, is kindness. It's not always referred to giving things to your children or to people. It's about serving the children, serving the people in their care, seeing how you can meet them so they can flourish. Does that make sense? So cultivation and connection is key to having children who are vibrant, children who can self-actualize. Next slide. And so in the book, I go through 7 principles that helps children to unlock their potential. The first principle is called parenting, which I've briefly covered on just now. The second principle is called progression. Now each child has got a learning flow. Each child learns in a particular way. Each child learns in different ways. But our duty is to see how they flow and to go in the flow. Does that make sense? Next one is called practice. Learning how to learn, learning how to study the right way will help to maximize marks. Will help to give your children the marks that they didn't think they could actually achieve. Preparation, purpose, model, plan and partnership. So there are 7 principles by which we can use to unlock the children's potential. Because all kids have got potential. Next one. So in this picture here we have athletes running. We have athletes running. And I wish to paint a picture in your mind. They're now preparing for a race. I'm at the start of the race. And now we're here. 3, 2, 1, go! You heard right? But let's backtrack. The person running needs to know what they're running for. The person running needs to understand about preparation. It would be honest of me to run and not prepare, not eat the right foods, not have enough sleep, not have the coaching. So many children are going through the educational system and running on air. Running on air. But a tutor is one who can help your child to run the race. To run a race with confidence, to run a race with a vision, to run a race with tenacity, and even if they trip up and fall over, there's someone there to pick them up, dust the knees, and keep running the race. Because the race is not for the swift, but those who stay the test, running the race. I'm pleased to announce, yesterday, we launched the book yesterday on Friday, the 24th of January. A major milestone in my life. I want to encourage somebody on this note. In life, it's not how you start. It's not how you start. It's not the middle. It's the end that counts. This evening, I want to encourage somebody that you can achieve if you believe. This evening will encourage you, despite where you have been, tomorrow is a better day. So today I will encourage you, despite how old you may be, it's never too late. Because invested in all of you is greatness to achieve, if only you dare to believe. And so, I'm pleased to announce on Friday, when I done my book launch, I am now a bestseller author. a best-selling author in philosophy of education, a best-selling author in education theory, and lastly, the best-selling author in education policy. And I'm not saying these things to brag, I'm saying things to encourage somebody. No matter where you are at the moment, tomorrow is a better day. Now, I was statemented, as you already heard, dyslexic, but I don't claim a label. Statemented, speech impediment, got ridiculed for stuttering, very low grades, but look, at the age of 36, I'm running, doing something which I'm passionate about. And my mission is to unlock potential in as many children as I can, to see the people of tomorrow to have a better life, that there is a generational progression, that these kids in this room at the moment and their children will have a better tomorrow, because we're taking our time to invest in our children. And let me encourage you, everyone in this room knows a child, knows a young person. Let's take time to invest in them, because irrespective of what label you put on them, there's greatness. Do we agree? How many of us want to agree to that statement? How many of us believe, in fact, please stand. Please stand. How many of us believe that children are the future of tomorrow? This evening, I'd like us to make a commitment that we're going to help to unlock potential in children, because they are the people of tomorrow. And whilst you're outstanding this evening, I want to encourage you that in you there is greatness, that you can achieve great things if you believe. So let's stand up, be a signal that in you there is greatness. You agreed?
Yes.
But let's believe, because belief is what helps unlock your potential. Do we agree?
Yes.
Fantastic. Please be seated. And so, on that note, there will be some forms going around shortly. If you know anybody who may need some tuition or some coaching, there's some forms going around shortly to leave you their details. But also, I want to do something very special at the moment. I'd like to call forward some people. Mrs. Bentler Hall, can you come forward, please? Mrs. Bentler Hall, can you come forward? And Mum and Dad, can you come forward, please? Mum and Dad, Mrs. Hall, Vivian Hall. Mrs. Hales and Mr. Hales, can you come forward, please?